So the most important form of practice is paying attention, giving attention to every part of your experience, giving attention to the parts of the experience that you haven't been giving it before, giving direct attention.
Yeah.
And direct attention is very different from description. So what we used to do, what we're used to doing, and what we're conditioned to do is we used to describe our experiences in the mind and give attention to that. So we give attention to the thought that is either describing our experience, bemoaning our experience, trying to figure out the reason for our experience, or trying to plan the future in such a way that this bad experience never happens again. And this is what we give attention to, but we don't give attention to the actual experience,
Yeah.
And that's what meditation does, because meditation robs you from an opportunity to distract yourself with something, with TV, with communicating with other people. You have nowhere to go but inwards. But you can also practice it in life, right? So the question is, the most important question is how am I experiencing this present moment of being alive? And the answer isn't, this is how. You're not looking for a description. How, meaning that, like, if you feel the anger, for example, how does it feel like to be angry? Let me explore that. Let me give you my attention. Is it in the chest? Where is it? How does my body feel when I'm angry? If you feel some tension, there's some tension in the body, let me explore that. Give it your attention and let it stay there, even though it's going to be uncomfortable, for as long as you want, or for as long as it takes, So the direction is the direction of opening up to experience. That's the most important thing of the spiritual path, is the opening up to experience. So you will notice, whether you're a beginning meditator or an advanced meditator, you will notice that both in meditation and life, the tendency of the mind is to think and talk about experience, think and talk about the past, about the future, and have your attention glued to that. So the most fundamental spiritual practice is ungluing this attention into the direct experience itself. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what self-realization, most people would describe enlightenment. I reserve this term for the state of the unsurpassed equanimity of the Buddha. So I say that there is a moment of realization, there is a moment of self-realization. The I am stage, when you say, the consciousness is true, everything else happens in consciousness. It's not me who is talking in the mind. No, I am conscious and I'm hearing this voice talking in me, right? So this moment, it's just how it's experienced phenomenologically, the moment when you disidentify your continually glued attention to the thought and you let it roam free. And so, like, people focus on consciousness. People say, "Oh, I found consciousness," but consciousness was always there. So what happened is that your attention was glued to the thought. It was always on thought, and now it is free to explore everything else. It is free to go into emotion as a direct experience. It is free to go into bodily tension as a direct experience. Thought no longer has this huge pull that it absolutely, like, maybe you can only, like, for a second or two focus on your breath, and that thought takes it back again, right? So this has been erased, and it's a much more fluid attention, and consciousness is just a container in which it all happens, but it's always been there.
Yeah,
it's always been there. It's just that you have experienced emotion, you have experienced your body, but the main focus of your attention has always been thought, and that's why in the beginning, concentration meditation is what a lot of people recommend, and concentration meditation is actually fundamentally a very simple practice of doing just that, what I described, of ungluing the attention from thought. Because think about what's happening there. Well, let's say you just concentrate on the breath. Why breath, for example? It's very easy. The breath is always there. It goes up, it goes down. There's always some change there. It just serves as an anchor, which is easy to concentrate on. I could say concentrate on your pinky, but it's just a little bit more boring. Like you could just really focus on your pinky, or you can focus on anything else at all. But the gravitational pull of the thought would be a little harder to overcome because you used to continuous stimulation from the thought. You used to, your experience, it's kind of boring to concentrate. It's difficult in the beginning. So it would be more difficult to find an anchor where nothing is going on. Mm-hmm. And the thought would have like more pull, and you would have to notice again and again that you're thinking more. So when you concentrate on the breath, it's still difficult for most people. Thought still takes your attention back again, but it's easier. It's easier because at least there's something. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. There's some sensation there. The always changing sensation that is easier to give your attention to. But the only thing that you're practicing basically by concentrating on the breath is not being continually glued to thought.
I see. Yeah.
So once this gravitational pull of thought is broken, once you have experienced for the first time what it's like to actually allow your attention to go to other places, and experientially, it may feel like a huge expansion, like an opening up. It may feel like, oh, there's consciousness. There could be like even moments of infinite space or infinite. That's just how it feels experientially, not to have your attention constantly being glued to thought. Once this is broken, the attention naturally and effortlessly starts exploring the unexplored, suppressed parts of your experience. So there could be some fear. People can start to crying. Suddenly you will realize there's a lot of tensions in the body. There's a lot of emotion discomfort, energies fluctuating, going through, things like that. And it all was quite hidden from your view because thought was 90% of your attention. Yeah. So for most people in the dream state, thought is 90% of their attention. Mm-hmm. And by the way, hallucinations in meditation and psychedelic trips are nothing but pictorial thought. So even if you are in a psychedelic trip or you're deep in meditation and you're seeing a lot of hallucination, there will also be some emotional experience. Like, for example, and in dreams too, like, for example, if you're seeing a hallucinatory story about someone killing you, right? There will be a lot of fear. And this fear as a direct experience is what needs your attention. That's actually why the hallucination is there. So the thought or pictorial thought, if it's hallucination, they arise together with a energetic emotional experience that you are resistant to. So it's basically, you can say that those are suppressed emotions and the stories around those emotions, the suppressed fears and the story around this fear. So a lot of people who go through this process, as they experience the suppressed fear, they can get a lot of, delusional thoughts like, oh, police is coming, someone will kill me, I feel something bad is happening right now. Well, nothing is happening. It's just the mind likes to explain the difficult experience, right? So you're hearing an explanation of a difficult experience, but a more important part of it is the experience itself. So the movement of your attention, of your awareness from the description of the experience to the experience itself, to the direct experience, is the most fundamental movement in spirituality. Mm-hmm. And it's the most fundamental movement in the beginning. It's even if you enter samadhi, it continues to be the most fundamental movement in your meditation. It continues to be the most fundamental movement in life. So, and basically, a completely enlightened mind doesn't experience a lot of emotional, energetic experience. Meditation becomes not possible, and it doesn't even hallucinate on psychedelics for precisely this reason, because all the energies, tensions, emotional suppression have been experienced and healed. The body is relaxed. The mind doesn't create emotional experience out of the blue. There is very little suppressed emotion, but the working through those layers of resistance to your own experience, resistance to yourself, is the one and only practice, basically. So the true meditation is when you don't try to anticipate any experience, and you don't reject any experience, and you give any experience your attention, but you also don't cling to it, because clinging to any experience is simultaneously rejecting something that might come afterwards. When you cling to something, you say, oh, it feels so good, I don't want it to end, because maybe something that will come next will be not as good, so clinging and rejecting are two sides of the same coin. They are fundamentally the same, right? So that's the true meditation. And the concentration meditation is needed in the beginning to loosen up, to really allow your attention to explore all aspects of what's happening in your consciousness, instead of being continually glued to thought. That's its main function. And once it happened, concentration meditation is, strictly speaking, not even needed anymore. So if you meditate, and let's say in 45 minutes, 1 hour time, you feel all sorts of, different energies, or fear, or trepidation, or anxiety, or you begin to cry, or you feel some tensions in the body, and you can give it your direct attention without thoughts stealing it from you every second, then you don't even need concentration meditation. So the thought sort of becomes, at this stage, the thought becomes a background. Don't ever try to stop it. Don't ever try to stop the thought. It doesn't work. It never works. But it becomes the background of your attention instead of the foreground of your attention. And the foreground of your attention becomes the actual experience. So it's a movement from it. And in the dream state, is the opposite. Like, the foreground of your attention is the thought, and the background of your attention is the actual experience.
Interesting. That's good.
Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. And then, so eventually, life just becomes the meditation, right?
Yes. Eventually, so at some point of time, the practice becomes effortless, meaning that you don't even have to encourage your attention, your awareness, to go into some uncomfortableness or unpleasantness or attention that arose. You just go there automatically. You can't even fight it. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, because awareness, consciousness, it wants to explore all of the discomfort underneath. The mind wants to integrate back from a compartmentalized state. It wants to do that. So once there's a certain amount of momentum, right, then it just becomes so automatic that whatever happens, even if there's a slight sadness, slight fears, a crunching of the stomach, like anything, it just goes to automatic. What is that? And it just goes there automatically without you having any say in it. So that's why they say that at some point of time, the practice becomes effortless, and your whole life becomes practice. Your whole life becomes meditation. Yes.
Life is the sadhana. Yeah. It's good stuff, man. Wow. Whew. I knew this was going to be a good one. I had a feeling. There's something in me. I was like, this is going to be a good talk. You're a real one. Wow.
Thank you.
This is good.